Silent Hill 4 is a random game that has nothing to do with Silent Hill. They just slapped the name on it at the last minute because Konami didn't think it would sell otherwise, and that's why it sucks and isn't a real Silent Hill game.
What the hell?
Yep. 13 years after Silent Hill 4 came out, people still think this, still complain about it, and still use it as an excuse to hate the game. What happened is that the developers, in an early interview, made the mistake of mentioning as a kind of fun fact that when they first came up with the idea of Silent Hill 4, they were going to call it Room 302 and it was going to be a spin-off of the series. And fans just kind of took this and ran away with it. The thing is, by the time they'd gotten to the 4th installment of the series, the games were beginning to stagnate, and the developers felt that Silent Hill 4 was a good time to try some new things. Some of those things worked and some didn't, but fans didn't like the changes and just kind of fabricated this story about how this was just some random game that Konami slapped the Silent Hill name onto because they didn't think anyone would want to play it otherwise.
Oh, that's just stupid.
Hell, when I did my Game Den episode on Silent Hill 4, I did as much digging as I could and could find no info about what the game was supposedly like before the name change, so I theorized that it must have happened very early in development. Well, since then, more info has come out to further that point. More interviews with the developers have resurfaced where they talk about wanting to change the series. These are not things that people making an entirely different game would say, so I think it's pretty clear that the game was probably still in the planning stages when they decided it would be a Silent Hill game. The reason the game is different from the previous ones is not because it started off as something else. If anything, it was the opposite. They wanted to take this existing franchise and try different things with it. It's fine if you don't like Silent Hill 4, I know it's flawed and I talked about those flaws in the Game Den video I did on it. So I'm not saying that you aren't allowed to dislike it, but at least hate it for legitimate reasons, and please stop perpetuating this bullshit myth.